transcripts are gold in AI because, again, it's great at processing large quantities of data and large information sets, and that's basically what a transcript is. Like when you use it to record a meeting. I think something that you talked about was, when we talked yesterday, was having the transcripts from the other CMOs talking with advisors.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that I built an AI agent basically to help me and my team figure out where it is that we can put strategy or where we can find opportunities to coach my team how to talk to advisors better. And in an advisor's world, I feel like they could also build this kind of agent for maybe downlines, right? So taking this transcript of an advisor and that client meeting, putting it into AI, and then figuring out, okay, where are those opportunities? Where can we coach? Did we get to the point fast enough, or were we not hard on the close, or do we need to be more urgent, or, those kinds of things. Becoming that CEO and training your employees rather than just being in the practice.
Yeah, well, you hit me with an acronym yesterday that I'd never heard before, SOPs. Forgive my ignorance. And I want you to, explain your acronym, but also how that comes into play with that same example of having transcripts from conversations.
So your SOP, your standard operating procedures.
Thank you.
Of course. We do this a lot on the operations side, but also on the marketing side, right? So if an advisor has somebody in their office who does a lot of different tasks, but then has to be out one day, what happens to that task that just needs to get done if an advisor doesn't know how to do it? So creating those standard operating procedures, your SOPs, through AI can help you actually break it down and make it more efficient so that you're not having to start with a blank page any longer. One of those could be, like, I'm in marketing, so I use it a lot for lead nurture. If a prospect comes in, they RSVP to an event, what happens next? When do you give them that phone call? What does that script look like?
When we talked yesterday, it was being a CEO and going from working in your practice to working on your practice. And if you are the main advisor, but you are trying to bring on downlines, establishing that process that you guys have and doing it with a successful transcript of a plan that worked, saying, well, this is what I did here, this is what I did here, and this is when I asked, this is when I closed.
Right.
And being able to have that, and one of our favorite advisors says, we had a process that was rote. It was everyone was using the same analogies and the same process to get people to the finish line. And I think that's probably what you're getting at here is it's an opportunity for downlines to be on the same page. It's an opportunity for an advisor to coach.
Right. But it's also an opportunity for when you go to train or hire somebody, you know exactly what that operating procedure looks like. You don't have to constantly change things, or you know what worked the first time, so why not implement it again? Yeah,
we have a Selling with Stories episode with Randy Cook where he talks about knowing when to ask for the order. Hey, you're at a drive-through and you're talking, but at a certain point, you got to ask for the order. What are you having? What do you want? What am I here for? What is this about? And I think being able to frame that and say, this is when you ask for the order can be incredibly valuable from a coaching standpoint in those calls.
100%.
Yeah, and advisors get intimidated by this, thinking that what she's describing, I don't know how to build that. That's so hard. What she's describing is easy as if you're the advisor and you're the one hiring these sub-advisors and you want them to do it your way, right? We coach, hey, it's your process. Your sub-advisor should be doing your process. Well, record your meetings. Record your first, second, and third meeting and upload it to the agent and say, hey, here's the gold standard.
Yeah.
Right? And then when you go do what she's talking about and you have these SOPs, right, it'll write it based off of just the recording.
Is there a flip side to that? This is where it went wrong. You had a meeting with somebody or a call that didn't go as well. Being able to take that transcript and having AI say, this is where the call went awry. And this is whose fault it was, potentially.
Kind of. So we can definitely find the opportunities of where we can coach. But I also we have call structures that we have to hit with advisors, right? So we don't want to go 50% into the relationship management part and never actually get to lead generation or the problems or projects or what we actually need to do for the advisor. So getting that call and putting it into AI, it breaks it down into percentages as well. So then I can figure out, okay, how can I coach? Where did it go wrong? okay, your relationship building went to, 25 minutes and you're on a 30-minute call. We can't do that every time. Then you're just calling the advisor saying, hey, like, how's it going? What's going on? Like, let's get a life update instead of having a meaningful conversation.
Yeah.
So within that, yes, AI can take the conversation, break it up into percentages, and then say, hey, this is where your opportunity is. This is how you can coach them.
What's your stance on hard coaching?
There's no such thing as hard coaching.
No?
No. You just coach, right? You just have the conversation when it's needed.
Well, I ask that with a very specific goal in mind.
Oh, yeah?
You told me about an agent that you created yesterday.
Oh, I didn't create that one. I just use it.
Okay, well, flesh it out for it. Tell the people. You can omit parts that you feel need to be omitted, but there's an agent that unleashes, we'll just say coaching. Very direct coaching.
It's very
right?
direct, right? Not
Yeah.
hard, direct. I
Yeah.
like that better.
Okay.
So it is an AI agent that I throw in my conversations just to see how I'm doing, because it gives me some very direct, very hard coaching based on one of the voices here at Impact. But yeah, it's a great tool because you actually get to see a different side, a different perspective that you may not have seen before. So I am very nice and soft and not a salesperson, right? So I just like to talk marketing, but I can also see the other side where it's like, hey, you asked the advisor what their percentage was closing or what their stick ratio was or what even the numbers how many appointments they got at the seminar. And they said, oh, I'm not 100% sure. And it was like, well, why didn't you push? Why didn't you ask for more? You just let it slide. You were just like, okay, you'll give them to me later.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's my normal. Like, yes, you can give them to me later because I know that the next call or an email will go by and you'll give me that information. But instead, the hard coaching, right? The direct
coaching. Yeah,
was,
direct coaching.
You need to keep pushing. They need to know their numbers. They need to give it to you when you ask. And I don't know if I'm that direct at the moment, but there's always room for opportunity to grow.
Well, I mean, that agent is twofold because it enables you to improve, but it also doesn't involve the person that it's mimicking. They don't need to be involved in it. They don't need to listen to every single one of your calls.
Correct.
Their proxy is sort of. And I think that has tremendous value to it.
Yeah. It's also if you have a really awesome opportunity or if you have a really awesome idea or you think it's a really awesome idea and you want to pitch this idea to that specific person, you can throw it in this agent first to kind of get their thoughts about what they might say or what questions they may ask so you can be more prepared when you go into the meeting.
Find out where the holes are.
Yep. Find out where the holes are. Figure out, is this actually a good idea or are you just think it is?
I know what you're thinking. Who needs another podcast about AI? You're right. Here's an Impactful Conversations in which we talked to Dr. Ronnie Sacca. He designed his own index that tracks media narratives, and it's pretty interesting if I say so myself. You can check out our house rules here, and of course, like and subscribe. It's the best way to stay up on top of our newest content, and we'll see you next time.